Oh, one more thing, like I was saying, you keep saying black and brown people, black and brown people. Black people always want to help everybody. Everybody want to help everybody. But nobody wants to help black people. And like I was saying, everybody that comes to America has a language. They act like their language handicaps them, but they use their language to build a fence around their community. And like I said, nobody breaks their neck to leave their neighborhood except black people. Indians live on reservations and trailers. If they living so bad, why they not trying to break their neck and come and integrate with everybody else? That's because they're fine out there on them as Indian reservations where you think they're poor. They're not poor. They live fine. They got everything they need. They got food, water, and clothing. They don't need a Versace bag. They don't need a Louis Vuitton bag. They fine out there with that. They don't need all that shit. They fine the way they live out there. We call them poor, but they're not poor. They got food. They got the basic necessities, and they're happy. And like I said, everybody comes to America and they go right to their own little neighborhood. You got the Jewish neighborhood, you got an Italian neighborhood, you got an Asian neighborhood, you got a Russian neighborhood, and everybody that comes to America has a language that they use to build a fence around their community. Everybody that comes to America piggybacks off the shit that black people went through by using that term people of color. People of color can be anybody. People of color can be anybody because all people have melanin, therefore all people have color. They be saying black and brown people are disadvantaged by this. Black and brown. Stop saying black people. Stop using that term. Say black people. We not black color-wise. You're not black like that car in front of me. But when Europeans came to America, they were called pilgrims. Then they went from being called pilgrims to being called Puritans. They called themselves Puritans, and they called black people heathens. But then they stopped calling us heathens, and they went from calling themselves Puritans to calling themselves Christians. Then they went from calling themselves Christians to calling themselves English. Then they went from calling themselves English to like Italian American, Swedish American, German American. Then they stopped using that and just sat under the umbrella called white. And that's why they call white people and black people called black. That's why. But we're not black technically and they're not white. But Europeans did that. Europeans are the ones that did that. Black people didn't do that. Black people got a heart of gold. It's the Europeans that keep doing this shit. They're the ones that want everybody to be separate, have separate bathrooms. That's how separate bathrooms, separate water fountains and shit like that. And black people had to use black people who weren't allowed to use the bathroom. You had to use the bathroom, you had to go take a shit in the woods and wipe your ass with some leaves or newspaper. That was how it was in this country. White, only this, white, only that. That's why you got black colleges. Because black people weren't allowed to attend the black colleges. But even till this day, if a white person wants to go to an all-black college, he can. Nobody's stopping him. Europeans be doing all that shit. And they try to turn. And the main way they do it, and the reason they get away from it, is because people think the TV is their mother. They think the TV is their mother. They think the radio is their father. And they think the newspaper is their grandparents. And people believe everything. People believe everything they see on TV. And that's why the TV always gets the last word. Like I tell people, you wouldn't allow a stranger to walk up to your children and start talking to them, right? They say no. Right. So why do you leave them in front of the television? You don't know those people on TV. You don't know them people on TV. They strangers. I don't know them people. I don't know none of them people on TV, but you think because they're on TV, you know them. You don't know them. They can be telling your children everything. You leave your children in front of the TV unsupervised. The TV is the main way that the TV indoctrinates people. Everybody believes the shit they see on TV. They take everything on TV as a fact. All right, y'all, take it. I got to pay attention to the road. What's up, everybody? These are my 2 books that self-published. Why don't you use your Cash App and get a few copies? Or if you'd like to know more, just inbox me, all right? Later. What's up, everybody? I was watching this lady last night, and she was talking about, like, all the things that black people have is like Black History Month and black colleges and stuff like that. But why do you have black colleges in America? You have black colleges in America because we weren't allowed to attend the white colleges. And even still, white people are allowed to attend historically black colleges if they want. But, you know, like if too many black people move into a white neighborhood, You know, they'll allow like 1 or 2, 3 families, but if too many black families move into a white neighborhood, white people will start moving out. That's why they keep talking about, you know, you need more black Republicans. The only reason they want black Republicans is so it weakens the Democratic Party. That's all. But if too many black people become Republicans, those white Republicans will leave that party. They will leave that party and go somewhere else and start another party. I don't know. But they don't want to be known as a party of losers. And another thing is, everybody benefits from the shit that black people went through. Whenever you use these terms, people of color, colored people, minority, poor people, brown people, these are all jaded and ambiguous terms that gives everybody a free ride. They didn't go through the shit black people went through. They didn't go through the shit black people went through, but they get to come to this country and benefit from all the shit that black people went through and fought for by using that term people of color. People of color can be anybody because all people have melanin. Therefore, all people have color, even white people. They just have less melanin. But they're people of color too. That's a jaded, ambiguous term. And like I said, most people that classify themselves, that call themselves people of color, on paper, they're classified as white. If you don't believe me, look it up. I used to watch the first 48, and every time they arrest somebody so-called people of color, you look at their paperwork and it said race, white. If you don't believe me, hit me up on my page and I'll send you the link, because I still got the videos up on YouTube. But everybody gets the benefit by using that term, people of color. And one more thing, like I was saying, you got all these things. She was saying like you have black colleges and stuff like that. But think about it. Nobody breaks their neck to integrate with white people. When Italians come to America, they go right to their Italian neighborhood. When Russians come to America, they go right to their Russian neighborhoods. When Indians come to America, they go right to their Indian neighborhood. When Asians come to America, they go right to their Asian neighborhood. They got everything they need in their neighborhood. Black people are the only people that break their neck to be integrated. We the only ones. We the only ones that break our neck. But you got to think, in America, you have white-only water fountains. You have white-only bathrooms. Where black people weren't allowed to use the bathroom. They had to go shit on the sidewalk, somewhere in the bushes, and wipe their ass with some leaves. That's why you got black colleges. That's why you got black this and black that. It was because it was only a repercussion of what the shit our ancestors went through. And like I always say, I did not go through that shit personally, but I come from a legacy of that. I come from that legacy of Jim Crow segregation, 200 years of planned ignorance, and all that other shit. And another thing, I was talking about how black neighborhoods are. Black neighborhoods are bad like that by design. They want them like that. You need a criminal element because you need somebody to keep filling up these prisons. Because you got people with no skills that got bullshit jobs, and they need them jobs. So they need people to get in trouble so they can go help make you make a living by getting in trouble and going to jail.